Hi guys, let me share with you this project. In this project we are going to be talking about how you can create your custom Cognito authentication flows. Cognito is this AWS service that allows us to provide authentication, authorization, and user management for our services and web applications. In this case we are going to provide a passwordless authentication flow using token channel. Token channel is an extremely easy way to generate, send, and verify one-time password tokens. Uh, you are going to be able to send tokens through different channels in different languages using the same unified model. In this case, we are going to use the TypeScript libraries for the project. You can start having a look at common Amazon Cognito scenarios. The goal of our project is just to authenticate a user. So it's just from the user perspective to be able to fetch valid tokens from the user pool. So we are going to see that it's just a two-step process. First, we are going to initialize the authentication flow, and we are going to respond to the auth challenge. So we are able to retrieve the valid tokens. We are providing a Postman collection for it. So we are going to start the initializing the authentication flow for a user identifier, and we are going to, for that user, to be able to answer to the challenge. You are going to see that the project is distributed as a serverless application. The serverless application model is an extension of the CloudFormation specification that is going to allow us to treat all the resources that we need to create in AWS as a single unit. So you have step-by-step guide on how to run the project and deploy the project. So you just need to prepare the environment, be aware that you need to hide those credentials. Uh, just install the dependencies and run the package and deployment commands. So because I know my environment is ready, I'm going to install the dependencies and I'm going to run the package and deployment command. I expect this to fail because I have not created a bucket in order to store all the data that the resources need. So I need to start creating a bucket. The bucket name is here in the SAM configuration file. So here we go. Let's create the bucket. And now we can successfully run the package and deployment. While it's running, we can have a look at the serverless application model configuration file, this YAML. And here we can see that we can define all the environment variables needed. And we are going to be creating Lambda functions. We are going to be creating, of course, the user pool with an schema for the user entity, and it's going to be mapped to the Lambda functions. We need the permissions for the user pool to be able to invoke those Lambda functions, and we need a user pool client so we can integrate this user pool and be able to access it from the outside. So in order to provide our custom authentication flow, we need to provide three different Lambda functions that are going to be triggered as the authentication flow progresses. So basically this is what we are doing. We are going to have a look at it. It's quite easy. So you see that this is the deployment command that successfully performed, and the output is the client ID. So we are able to invoke that user pool from the outside. So before being able to for a user to start being granted credentials, let's create the user. So let's open the Cognito console. Let's see the user pool that is being created. Here we can have a look at the Lambda functions that are being mapped. And it's time to create a user, so let's do it. I'm going to create a user with my phone number as identifier. So now I would be ready to start this passwordless authentication flow. Let's try it. So one thing to mention here is that I'm simulating uh, the challenges from the token channel perspective. Test mode is being enabled. Test mode is being enabled. So this means that the message is not going to be delivered. So I'm not consuming the credits I have in token channel while I am integrating. What I see is that I'm being returned the challenge ID of the request. This is the challenge ID that the request ID for token channel. So I have in the token channel API, I have a request here that is going to allow me to retrieve the valid token that was sent. So we are not wasting money while we are integrating. So this is the response. So this is the token channel I've been sent. This is the username, the user identifier that I've been returned in the init authentication request. So I'm going to use it as well. And I have here an encoded string that describes the session state, and we need to pick it as well. So let me verify that the client ID is the same, and it's not, so we can try it now. Invalid session for the user. So I think I have made a mistake copying the session data. Let's try again. And here we go. And here you can see that we have retrieve valid tokens for the user.